let's get to know the 10 most dangerous trees in the world. First, the ghost tree. In Pakistan, there's a mysterious natural phenomenon where large trees are covered in a ghostly white layer. If you ever come across a tree like this, stay away immediately, because tens of thousands of spiders are living inside it. They weave thick webs that completely wrap around the tree. Whenever floods come, the spiders on the ground quickly climb up the tree trunks to escape the rising water. To catch food, all the spiders build their webs among the branches. The originally green leaves turn white in just a few days. In Pakistan, floods can sometimes last for several months, long enough for spiders to find mates, have offspring, and start families in the trees. As a result, the number of spiders multiplies rapidly. Their webs grow thicker and thicker, until every branch is tightly wrapped in layer upon layer of silk. All the spiders end up trapped in the trees for months at a time. In a way, this could be considered a work of art crafted by the ingenious hand of nature. But whatever you do, don't let your curiosity lead you into these web-filled trees, because inside live hungry spider spirits. Strangely enough, though, the so-called ghost trees have received unanimous praise from the local people. It turns out that every year, countless mosquitoes invade the village, but they all end up getting wiped out in the spider webs. The second one is the sandbox tree. You probably don't even need to hear the introduction to know just how dangerous it is. Its entire body is covered with dense, sharp spikes. Whether you're a person who likes to lean against trees to pee, or an animal that enjoys climbing trees to pick fruit, if you don't want to end up looking like a sieve, you'd better stay as far away from it as possible. The sandbox tree also has a special nickname, the tree that even monkeys won't climb. Even agile monkeys find it hard to avoid the spikes and climb up the trunk. The sandbox tree generally grows in the tropical regions of the Americas, but you can also find it in Tanzania, Africa. At this point, you might think that the most deadly weapon of the sandbox tree is the sharp spikes covering its entire body, but you'd be completely wrong. If the spikes cause physical harm, then the magical attack from the exploding fruit of the sandbox tree is its real trump card. When the fruit ripens, a powerful explosion occurs inside, and the shell shoots out at a speed of 40 meters per second, injuring any people or animals nearby. Because of this, locals also call the sandbox tree the dynamite tree. If you ever come across this double-threat tree in the wild, turn around and run without looking back. The third one, the poison guava tree. If one day you see a red line on a tree, never mistake it for a trail marker. Immediately keep at least 50 meters away from it, because that red line is a serious warning, indicating that this is one of the most poisonous trees on Earth. Whether it's the fruit, the branches, or even a single leaf, any part of it can easily kill an adult. The fruit and trunk of the poison guava tree can secrete a milky white sap, which is an extremely toxic liquid. If it comes into contact with human skin, it can corrode it within seconds. Because of its highly corrosive nature, it can even dissolve metal. If someone accidentally eats the fruit of the poison guava, so far, no one has survived to tell whether it tastes sweet or sour. Once the flesh enters the human digestive system, your respiratory system will be forced to shut down within minutes, ultimately leading to death from lack of oxygen. Even if it's raining, if you stand under the tree to take shelter, the rainwater dripping off the leaves of the poison guava can cause poisoning if it lands on your skin. The poison guava tree grows in Central and South America as well as the Caribbean region. In Spanish, the poison guava is called Árbol de la Muerte, which means tree of death. Fortunately, as human understanding of plants has grown, the trunks of these trees are now marked in red to warn anyone who tries to approach the poison guava. Even a single leaf falling on you could be life-threatening. The fourth one, the shipworm tree. Take a close look. The scene before your eyes looks just like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it actually exists in real life. These long, constantly wriggling creatures are called shipworms. Just like parasites in the human body, shipworms rely on wood as their host. They are among the most terrifying creatures in the world. So, if you see a fallen tree in the water, be sure to stay alert. It's very likely that it's already infested with shipworms. If they ever bore out of the tree and get into your body, the consequences would be unimaginable. Because shipworms eat at an astonishing speed, even a massive shipwreck at the bottom of the sea can be completely devoured by them in no time. That's why shipworms are also known as the termites of the sea. The fifth one, the bloodwood tree. When you're near a giant tree and it suddenly starts bleeding bright red after being injured, it seems like something that could only happen to animals. However, the bloodwood tree, which grows in South Africa, can also bleed just like humans when it gets hurt. What's even more amazing is that this red sap can actually clot and heal cracks in the tree trunk. Just like human blood, it has such similar functions. In Africa, the branches and leaves of the bloodwood tree are often used as a natural medicine. The sixth one, the murder tree. Its scientific name is the sea mango tree. However, locals prefer to call it the murder tree because it possesses an almost perfect murder weapon and has already claimed many lives in India. But local police find it difficult to gather clues and connect these deaths to this seemingly ordinary tree. The murder tree's deadly weapon is its fruit, which looks just like an apple. If you accidentally eat the fruit, it won't kill you right away. The fruit contains a toxic substance called cerberin. Cerberin slowly lowers your heart rate over several hours, which means your heart can't supply blood to your body, and the end result is that your heart stops beating. That's why, in India, coroners have a hard time finding the cause of death in these victims. So everyone must remember, if you see green fruits like this in the wild, don't pick them out of curiosity to have a taste. Number 7. The zombie tree. Behind a glamorous appearance, there's usually a little-known secret. For example, this plant called angel's trumpet may look beautiful and harmless, but it actually contains a neurotoxin that can easily turn people into a zombie-like, unconscious state. If you get close to these beautiful flowers out of curiosity, the toxic gases can sneak into your respiratory tract, affecting your central nervous system and causing your body to become paralyzed. There was even a daredevil influencer abroad who, just for a video, sniffed an angel's trumpet flower. Not long after, he became disoriented and even started hallucinating. Fortunately, he didn't inhale too much and was eventually rescued successfully. If you stay around these angel's trumpet flowers for a long time, they can cause loss of muscle control, memory loss, and ultimately even death. So remember, you must stay away from these kinds of angel's trumpet flowers. Number 8. The strychnine tree. This poisonous fruit tree is native to India. Its seeds are round and flat, covered with fine hairs on the outside. 50% of its composition is strychnine, a toxic chemical mainly used in the production of rat poison. The bark, branches, and leaves of the strychnine tree also contain toxic chemicals, and in India, many locals have experienced poisoning even without eating the fruit. It turns out that while the strychnine tree is photosynthesizing, it also releases poisonous gases. So if you see this kind of tree in the forest, remember to hold your breath. Number 9. The suicide tree. Remember this tree. If you ever see it, turn around and run as fast as you can. The scientific name of the suicide tree is bunya pine, and it can grow up to 50 meters tall. Its branches are covered with sharp spikes, but these aren't the things that can actually kill you. The deadliest weapon of the bunya pine is its spiky fruit, which is also covered in sharp spikes, and the largest of these fruits can weigh up to 10 kilograms. Just imagine, a 10-kilogram fruit covered in spikes falling freely from 50 meters up, and you just happen to be walking under the tree. If it hits your head, at best you'll be knocked out cold, and at worst, it could split your skull and send you straight to the afterlife. So if you ever come across a bunya pine in the wild, don't get too confident about how hard your head is. Number 10. The whistling thorn acacia. Its name sounds a bit like a martial arts move from a wuxia novel, but it's definitely a lot more dangerous than any legendary kung fu technique. The whistling thorn acacia can grow up to 6 meters tall, and its entire body is covered in intimidating sharp thorns, each about 7 centimeters long. But these are just the dangers you can see with the naked eye. There's an even more deadly hidden danger. The branches are covered with countless hollow nests, which serve as the habitat for fire ants. Fire ants and this tree have a mutually beneficial relationship. The tree's thorns protect the ants' nests, and in return, the fire ants have to pay rent every month. The role of the fire ants is to protect the tree's resin from being damaged by insects and humans. Once bitten by a fire ant, the pain can last for several days. Therefore, fire ants and the whistling thorn acacia actually have a symbiotic relationship. Because the wind blows into the openings of the ant nests, producing a whistling sound, this tree was named the whistling thorn acacia. So when you're walking on the African savanna, if you hear a sound like a whistle, be sure to stay away from it.